What's good, y'all? Your boy's back and better than ever. And the question on the table today, can the Chicago Bears take advantage of the sixth easiest schedule in the NFL? Let's talk about it starting now. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page because we do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. So, Bears schedule's been released. I gave you my prediction. I currently have the Bears sitting at 8-9, finishing out the season based on the teams that we play. But when you look at the breakdown, when you look at how the season's going to go, of course, there's going to be ebbs and flows. There's going to be injuries that come into play. There's going to be injuries on both sides that come into play. Hopefully nothing catastrophic for the Bears, right? But can the Bears take advantage of the fact that they have the sixth easiest schedule in the NFL? And they have a couple of opportunities, right, to go on some nice streaks. I really like the month of November for the Bears. I feel like that's going to be big for them. Can they get to a point where you feel good about them going forward? And I think the answer is yes, right? Like, there's teams on here that clearly we put above the Bears. There are teams on here, like I would say the Vikings, I think, are ahead of the Bears. I would predict that the Commanders might be a little bit ahead of the Bears, even with Carson Wentz in the building, right? The Cowboys. But these are teams that we've seen that have consistently had ebbs and flows where you look at them and you're like, yeah, you're probably better than us on any given day, right? But today's not that day. And I feel like that's the biggest thing going for the Bears going into this, right? Like, even the games that you feel like the Bears are going to lose, I feel like there's a window of hope in every one of them, right? Maybe the Packers game, you close the door on that a little bit. But if we're being 100% honest, right? Bears going up against the Commanders, do we feel like that's an automatic L? I don't. Even with that defense, even with Carson Wentz on that team now, even with the weapons they have, I don't feel like that's an L. Trey Lance possibly getting the start for the 49ers here, starting the season off. The Bears come in as an underdog. Do we feel like that's an L? Guaranteed. I feel like that defense is going to be tough to overcome. I feel like that defense is going to be able to do a lot of things versus an offensive line that the Bears are trying to put together and figure out on the fly, essentially, right? But I don't think that there's a guarantee that the San Francisco 49ers are going to come out and put 50 on your head week one, right? Like, if they do, now we know we've got some serious concerns heading through the rest of this season. But really, the only game in the entire season that you feel like the Bears are just going to be outclassed, possibly the Packers game, right? We don't know what the receiving core is going to look like there, but at a minimum, Aaron Rodgers really freaking good. He's probably going to have Christian Watson looking really freaking good on that team as well. On the other side of that, though, the Bills, that's the other team. Guess what? You play the Packers twice a year like we always do, and you play the Bills December 24th. There's a lot of other games around that where you could feel like this Bears team, if they get a win in some of those games where you predicted a loss, guess what? Now you're talking about a team that's not only, instead of being 8-9, could be going into this thing 9-8 and more if you get momentum on your side, if you start to gel a little bit. I'm not going to put the Bears completely out of it. I want to know how you guys feel, though. Let me know in the comments below. Do you feel like the Bears can take advantage of this schedule? It's the sixth worst schedule in the NFL. The Bears coming in again, like I said, they're going to improve based on what we saw last season, just based on the fact that Matt Nagy isn't here alone. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. Drop a Y or an N at a minimum if you feel like the Bears are going to be able to take advantage of it or not. I want to hear from you guys, man. I also think the biggest thing that we need to take into account when we're looking at this schedule is, what are you taking advantage of? Is it just wins and losses, or is it development, right? I think the more important thing is to take advantage of development. I mean, let me know. Would you rather the Bears go 8-9, miss the playoffs, 7-10, miss the playoffs, right? But Justin Fields looks really good, or we go 12-5, but we leave the season still with some questions on Justin Fields? Let me know in the comments below. I feel like this team right now, right, needs to focus more on development than they need to focus on wins and losses. Now, if wins and losses come at the same time with that, that's great for me. But this is a perfect schedule for development. Last season's wasn't. We had great defenses week in and week out. It was a weird schedule because one week you're at home, the next week you're away. The entire season, there's no way to get a rhythm for your own stadium. There's no way to get a rhythm for your own field, right? And I think that played a part into the way Justin played. I think also the fact that you were swapping in and out quarterbacks every other day played a part on how Justin Fields played. So to me, the fact that you have an easier schedule, you have a schedule with a little bit more continuity where you can spend a couple of weeks in your own bed, right? Where you can go out and you can say every single week, right? You're not playing the best defenses in the NFL. I think that makes a big statement to the Chicago Bears, not only being successful wins and loss wise, right? Like more wins than I think we'd expect to have, but also in the development of Justin Fields, because it gives him an opportunity to hone in his game for an entire season versus a schedule that's not every week somebody's out to kill him. Now, I know a lot of people look at that and they'll say, well, when he plays the real defenses, is he going to be good? We'll be able to find that out. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you're only playing, right? You play the 49ers on September 11th. Until you get to the Bills on December 24th, there's not an, oh my God, this defense is going to destroy us defense on the schedule, right? So they'll be like, you're going to get to see an elite defense, see what Justin looks like versus them. You'll get to see his development throughout the season. The Vikings not a bad defense, but I don't feel like they're I can't believe this team's going to stop us defense, right? Like, maybe Dallas, if you feel like Micah Parsons can do enough on that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's not that defense that I feel like there's no way we can move the ball against them on this schedule here. But when you see the Bills, guess what? You'll be able to see if the things Justin put in place are going to be able to prove true versus good defense again. Like I said, it's the perfect schedule setup for the development of your young quarterback, of your young weapons, of your running back, of this offensive line, right? And you'll get to test it against one of the best defenses closing out this season. So I think that these are great things for the Chicago Bears coming into the season. I think the Bears will be able to take advantage of what they have on the field. And the teams that they're playing against. That doesn't mean, like I said, that you're going to go out and you're going to get 12 wins. I would rather see the Bears come away 7-10, 8-9, but Justin Fields is moving in the right direction. And guess what? Now we feel good about this team going into the next year when your schedule's probably going to be a little bit tough. But I want to know how you guys feel, man. Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. Do you think the Chicago Bears can take advantage of this sixth-place schedule? I'll be down there talking with you in the comments. To continue watching our Chicago Bears content, click the links on the screen or check the links in the description below. Ayo, Chicago! Pat the Designer's back, baby. Y'all stay safe out there. Peace.